What is up, guys? It is Will Sports, and today I'm going to be recapping the game that we just saw. The Vikings and the Eagles finished their Week 2 matchup on Thursday Night Football. The Eagles come away with the win, 34-28, and they moved to 2-0. The Vikings moved to 0-2. This was a interesting game. Let's start with the Eagles. So the Eagles, early in this game, they were kind of sloppy offensively. There was a lot of plays where, the Vikings their scheme seemed to be trying to make the Eagles run the ball and want to take away the pass or make it to where everything's in front of them. And the Eagles took that, but it would get the Eagles into these third and 5, third and 6 type of plays where it's an obvious passing down, and the Vikings were getting off the field early. And the Eagles were fortunate that the Vikings were not capitalizing off of that. The Vikings turned the ball over 4 times. I will get to that though when I talk about the Vikings. But Jalen Hurts took a few sacks in this game, or scrambled a little prematurely on a few plays that kind of killed drives. And the offensive line obviously looked great, as it usually does with the Eagles. They have them or the Lions probably have the best offensive lines in football. So they were able to run the ball and get what they wanted. But there was a few plays where Jalen Hurts, you felt like was evading the pocket too quick or not getting the ball out. And so the Eagles offense looked kind of stagnant early in the game. They did get going though. As in the second half, they had a few deep balls to Devontae Smith throughout the game. One early that set up a field goal because they couldn't capitalize in the red zone, and then one that led to a touchdown. It was a deep ball touchdown from Hurts to Smith. I think it was mid third quarter, and they put them up 27-7. But after and they were running the ball most of this game. And when they would run the ball, the Eagles were very successful. The Vikings' run defense was terrible, but the Eagles were running between the tackles, outside. The Vikings couldn't stop a damn thing they wanted to do, whether it was a quarterback run, it was just straight up the middle, put the ball on the back's belly and let them run. It didn't fucking matter. The Eagles were getting whatever they wanted. So, and DeAndre Swift had 175 yards, and they gave him 28 carries. And the Eagles, you could tell from the, after those first 2 drives where they were kind of stagnant, you could tell they were just making it an emphasis, especially when they got down 7-3 when the Vikings scored a touchdown. We're running the ball. We're just going to impose our will and run the ball. And they just ran down the Vikings' throat. That Eagles offensive line completely dominated, and it was just a one-sided battle. And the Eagles, a lot of people on social media, on Twitter, I'm seeing are saying the Eagles aren't for real. The Eagles are frauds. They have not looked great. Like I said, and they looked like they were about to run away with the game until you saw A.J. Brown kind of say something to Jalen Hurts on the sideline. It looked like they were kind of having, back and forth. And Brown didn't look too happy with Hurts because he wasn't getting many targets. And let me see what he had for today. I think he had only 4 catches. He had 4 catches for 29 yards. So he was clearly mad about that he wasn't getting many targets. And after that, you could just see that the Eagles are trying to make a conscious effort to get him the ball. But that came at the expense of them, moving the ball. Their offense was not moving by throwing the ball mostly today. It was mostly moving from them just dominating the line of scrimmage and running the ball down the Vikings' throat. So when they did that, it allowed the Vikings to get back in the game. And the Vikings, like I said, I'll get to them next, but their offense, they had good games by Cousins, Jefferson, and TJ Hawkinson. They had a very good offensive game. And the Eagles, defense overall definitely has some improvement to do, but they were without several guys. Fletcher Cox, I think, was out. James Bradbury was out. Nakobe Dean was out. Kenneth Gainwell on offense was out. They had a lot of guys out, so that definitely made somewhat of an impact. But they were still able to get the win. So I think the Eagles' offense will get better as the season progresses. Specifically, the passing game. I think the running game is going to be able to be fine because of the offensive line. Do I think they're going to run for damn near 300 yards like they did today every night? No, but they're going to be able to get push up front and be able to move that ball and win on that run game when they need to. So It was not a perfect game from Jalen Hurts, but he was efficient. He was 18 for 23. He didn't have too many mistakes other than that one interception that he threw early that was into double coverage. But I think he kept the ball, safe and managed the game well. But you would like to see more from him going forward, which I think he will show. I think A.J. Brown will get more targets, and I think this offense will kind of get flowing more as the season progresses. But yeah, like it was a good sign to see that run game pick up and see just them dominate. DeAndre Swift, like I said, had a great game, and I think there's some positives to take out of it, even though it wasn't the perfect game. The Eagles are still 2-0 at the end of the day, so I think that's the best case scenario at this point of the season is being 2-0. So the Eagles are that good win. Let's move on to the Vikings. Like I said, the Vikings had a good game offensively. Kirk Cousins threw for 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson had 159 yards on 11 receptions. Best receiver in football right there. And then you had T.J. Hawkinson, who had 7 receptions for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this was a Vikings offense that was moving the ball. Early in the game, though, they really were shooting themselves in the foot more than anything because, like I said, they had 4 fumbles. One on special teams, one where Kirk Cousins was about to throw the ball and the ball got slapped out of his hand by some pressure that he didn't see. And then I think there was 2 from running backs. So there was just a lot of miscues by this Vikings offense. And they have now had 7 turnovers through 2 weeks. If they don't turn the ball over in any of these 2 games, you could make an argument that they win both these games. They have shot themselves in the foot. They definitely would have won last week if they hadn't turned the ball over. But like I said, turnovers plague them. And when your defense is giving up damn near 300 yards on the ground, you're going to have to take care of the football, and they just didn't do that. Kirk Cousins, like I said, played a great game. I thought he was making great reads all night, getting the ball out quick, too, because that Eagles defensive line swarms, and they can get to the quarterback quick. And he was getting pressured, and he was getting hit, but he was getting that ball out, finding Jefferson a lot, finding an open guy, and the type of attention that Justin Jefferson, attracts is going to get other guys, good open catches. Jordan Addison had a few targets. He had a deep touchdown. And that was a big touchdown that he had because they were down 27-7 and it was 3rd and long. And that could, if they don't convert there, the Eagles very well win this in a blowout. But that kind of kept the Vikings spirits up and kept them in the game. And guys like KJ Osborne and Josh Oliver, like I said, TJ Hawkinson, they were all involved because of the attention Jefferson brings. So it was a very good passing game by this Vikings offense. They didn't get much on the running game. They didn't run the ball much though. They only ran the ball 9 times. So they were kind of like an air raid type of offense tonight, as they were last week too. But this is a Vikings team that, based off what I saw from them offensively, I do still have optimism for them despite them being 0-2. If they can just clean up the turnovers, I think they can still be a playoff team by the end of the year. The NFC North is not brutal division. I mean, the Lions and the Packers both look good in week 1. But I think if the Vikings take care of the football, they can score with anybody. And it's going to give them a chance to be in games. Now, their defense has a lot of work to do. I mean, the secondary is bad. The D-line is bad. They're really bad defensively. And I don't know how much they can do about that. But that offense can score. As long as you have Justin Jefferson, on your team and Kirk Cousins doing what he's doing, TJ Hawkinson, they're going to be able to score points. I just think that this team is going to have to take care of the football, stop getting in your own way, because they had opportunities. Like I said, the defense was doing a solid job early, but when you keep turning the ball over and keep giving the ball back to Philly, I mean, it's going to make it tough on you to be able to overcome that. And they nearly did. They got back into the game. It was 27-21, but again, their defense just could not stop that Eagles run game. And the Eagles, when they wanted to run the ball, they were able to do it. There was nothing the Vikings could have done. So it's going to be interesting to see how this Vikings team progresses going forward. But I still have optimism about them. And last year they were winning all these type of close games. Well, the last 2 weeks they've lost 1 possession football game. So this was something I was concerned about with the Vikings coming into the year, was will they be able to still be the same type of team when the game is close like they were last year, because last year they were able to win all those close games, and that's why their record was so good. But a lot of us thought they were fraudulent, because every game they won, was close and they weren't blowing teams out, but when they lost, they were getting blown out. So there was a lot of reasons to be skeptical of them last year, and coming into this year, a lot of people were concerned about that. Can they keep this trend of winning all these close games? Well, so far it's proven no, but we will see. There's still a lot of season left. I wouldn't completely panic if I'm a Vikings fan, but if I'm a Vikings fan, I just want to see us play cleaner football and stop turning the ball over. But interesting game here. Good game overall. I think both teams still can have solid seasons. I don't think Eagles fans need to be panicked at all. You're 2-0. You could be in a lot worse situation than the Vikings. As long as you don't turn the football over, I think you'll be in good hands to at least be, in that playoff hunt by the end of the year. So yeah, this is just a quick little recap. The Eagles take the game 34-28, and yeah, it should be a great weekend of football. This started off, and I can't wait to cover it this weekend. So yeah, let me know what else y'all would like me to make any videos about. Comment down below what y'all thought, and it's been Will Sports. Peace.